My family had a group chat called The Burden Problem about me, so I disappeared without a trace and let them discover I was the one paying for everything. Before I share what happened next, do me one favor. Subscribe and tell me the city or country you're watching from. I love knowing where our stories reach. I found the group chat by accident. My brother Wyatt left his laptop open when he went to grab coffee, and there it was on his screen. A notification from The Burden Problem. My stomach twisted as I leaned closer. The preview showed Mom's message. She's asking about Thanksgiving again. Who's dealing with her this time? I felt my hands go numb. That couldn't be about me. I clicked it open and my entire world shattered. 2 years of messages. 2 years of my family coordinating how to manage me, their burden. My sister Kimberly had written, "Just tell Camille we're full. She'll believe anything." Dad's response, "The girl's too naive for her own good." Makes it easier though. I scrolled through months of complaints about my presence at family gatherings, jokes about my desperate attempts to fit in, and detailed plans to exclude me while making it seem natural. My vision blurred with tears, but I kept reading. Last Thanksgiving, when they said the dinner was canceled due to Mom's migraine. They'd all gone to Aunt Coraline's. Christmas, when Wyatt said he had the flu. Group photo at Kimberly's house. Everyone healthy and laughing. The coffee shop door chimed. I quickly photographed everything with my phone, sent it to myself, and closed the laptop. Wyatt returned, completely unaware that in those 3 minutes he'd destroyed his sister. I smiled at him, playing the role they'd assigned me, the burden who believed anything. But inside, something fundamental had shifted. I wasn't their naive little Camille anymore. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop, staring at my banking app, and started tracing every transaction I'd made for my family over the past 3 years. The numbers were staggering. Mom's mortgage. I'd been paying it since Dad's business struggles began. $1,200 monthly for 36 months. $43,000. I felt sick. Wyatt's car payment after his temporary setback? 8 months at $450 a month. Kimberly's credit card debt that she'd cried to me about, begging for help while her husband Logan was between jobs. $15,000 paid off in one lump sum last year. Dad's medical bills from his surgery? $9,200. My nephew Tyler's private school tuition, $6,500 annually for 2 years. The list went on. Aunt Coraline's roof repair. Cousin Nola's wedding costs. Uncle Ron's business loan that I'd co-signed, but ended up paying entirely. The total made my hands shake. $187,412. Nearly $200,000 to people who called me their burden. I'd sacrificed my dream of opening my own bakery for this. I'd lived in a modest apartment while they upgraded their lives. I'd driven my 12-year-old Honda while making Wyatt's Lexus payments. My phone buzzed. Mom calling. "Hey baby, can you pick up some groceries for Sunday dinner? Your father's running low on his medications too." My throat tightened. Sunday dinner I wasn't invited to. Medications I'd been buying for months. "Sure, Mom," I heard myself say. "I'll take care of it." I became a detective of my own betrayal. Over the next week I meticulously documented everything. Every bank statement, every Venmo transfer, every text message where they'd asked for help. I created a spreadsheet that would make an accountant weep. But I needed more than just financial records. I needed their words. I started checking Wyatt's laptop whenever I visited. He never locked it, too arrogant to imagine I'd snoop. The group chat was a goldmine of cruelty. Kimberly, 2 months ago. Camille offered to pay for Mom's birthday dinner. Should we let her, or is that too pathetic? Logan's response: let her pay. She's got nothing else going on anyway. My chest burned reading that. I'd been so excited to treat Mom, spending $400 at her favorite restaurant. I'd thought they were grateful. Dad had written, Camille thinks she's family because she throws money around. Someone needs to tell her you can't buy belonging. The irony was suffocating. Wyatt had replied, why tell her anything? The gravy train needs to keep running. My Lexus payments due. They'd laughed. Actual laughing emojis at my expense. I found messages mocking my weight, my career, my dating life. Kimberly had shared a photo of me from Christmas, mid-bite caption, "The burden feeds." 17 laugh reacts. Mom had sent one. I took screenshots of everything, organizing them into folders by category. Financial requests, mockery, exclusion plans, lies they told me. By day 8, I had 247 screenshots. My lawyer brain kicked in. I worked as a paralegal after all. I knew how to build a case. And this was airtight. I took a personal day and sat in my apartment, rage and hurt battling for dominance. Crying wouldn't fix this. Confrontation would just make them gaslight me. I'd seen it before. They were master manipulators. I needed something more devastating than words. I needed them to feel what I felt. Abandoned, used, and utterly alone. The plan formed slowly, deliberately. First, I'd stop all payments immediately. No explanations, no warnings. Just silence. Second, I'd disappear from their lives completely. No calls, no texts, no drop-bys. I'd become a ghost. Third, and this was crucial, I'd let them discover the truth on their own. Let the bills pile up. Let reality hit them like a freight train. I opened my banking app and started the cancellations. Mom's mortgage, autopay canceled. A notification would go to her bank in 3 days when the payment failed. Wyatt's car payment, canceled. Kimberly's Netflix, Hulu, and Spotify that I'd been covering, canceled. Dad's medication auto refills on my credit card, canceled. The gym membership I paid for Aunt Coraline, gone. Tyler's tutoring that I'd quietly funded, done. My finger hovered over each cancellation button, and with each click I felt lighter. Years of being their safety net erased in minutes. Then I drafted an email to my family, scheduled to send in exactly 30 days. 1 month of silence before they'd get any explanation. The subject line, about the burden problem. The body was simple. A spreadsheet of every payment, every lie, and every screenshot from their chat. Nothing else. No anger, no accusations. Just facts. Let the truth speak for itself. Monday morning I started erasing myself from their lives. I blocked all their numbers. Mom, Dad, Wyatt, Kimberly, Logan, even extended family. Then I deactivated my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The social media silence would unnerve them. I posted religiously, always liking their photos, always commenting supportive messages. I'd been their biggest cheerleader while they mocked me in private. My apartment felt different as I packed. Not sad exactly. Liberated. I wasn't running away. I'd paid my lease through the year. I was simply making myself unavailable. I took all my photos of them off the walls, packed away the family albums, boxed up every gift they'd given me. I was creating a clean slate. Work got interesting quickly. Tuesday afternoon, Wyatt showed up at my office. Through the glass door, I watched him argue with reception. I'm her brother. Just tell her I'm here. Security escorted him out. He'd never visited my workplace before. Didn't even know where it was until now, probably. Wednesday, Mom tried calling from a neighbor's phone. It rang through to voicemail. Camille, baby, your phone's going straight to voicemail. Call me back. Your daddy needs his prescription refilled. I deleted it without finishing. Thursday brought Kimberly to my apartment building. I watched from my window as she buzzed repeatedly, then left an increasingly frantic note under my door. Where are you? Mom's freaking out. Call someone. This isn't funny. But I wasn't laughing. Friday, my supervisor called me into her office. Your mother phoned here. Said it's an emergency. There's no emergency, I said calmly. My family and I are taking space. She nodded slowly, understanding in her eyes. I'll let reception know you're unavailable. Day 12 of my disappearance brought the first real consequences. Wyatt called my office from yet another number. I'd told reception to log all attempts. 7 calls in one day. The desperation was showing. I knew why. His car payment had bounced. A text from an unknown number appeared. Camille, it's Wyatt. The dealership called about my payment. There must be some mistake with the autopay. Can you fix it? I stared at the message, remembering his words in the group chat. The gravy train needs to keep running. I blocked the number. Day 15, Mom's mortgage payment failed. I knew because Aunt Coraline somehow got through to my office line before reception caught it. Camille Marie Thompson, your mother is beside herself. The bank sent a notice about her house payment. She thinks there's been fraud. Then she should call her bank, I said flatly. But I always what, Aunt Coraline? Always pay for everything while everyone calls me their burden. Silence. Then quietly, what are you talking about? I hung up. He knew. They all knew. Day 18 brought a Facebook post from Kimberly, tagged in a way I could still see it despite deactivating. Has anyone seen Camille Thompson? Family emergency. Please contact us if you know her whereabouts. The comments rolled in from concerned friends. I wanted to laugh. Now it was a family emergency. Not when they needed Sunday dinner groceries. Not when they wanted their bills paid. Now when the money stopped. By day 22, I'd received 47 contact attempts through various means. My landlord knocked once, said a worried family member had asked him to check on me. I assured him I was fine, just creating boundaries. He understood more than they ever would. Day 25. I came home from work to find them waiting. All of them. Mom, Dad, Wyatt, Kimberly, Logan, even Aunt Coraline. They'd somehow convinced my landlord to let them into the building's lobby. The intervention I'd expected. There she is. Mom rushed forward, arms out. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Her face crumpled with theatrical hurt. Baby, what's wrong? We've been worried sick. You disappeared without a word. Without a word, I repeated, tasting the irony. That's interesting. Dad stepped forward, using his stern voice. Camille, this has gone on long enough. Your mother's mortgage payment bounced. Wyatt's car payment too. We need to talk about this confusion with your bank. There's no confusion, I said clearly. I stopped making payments on your bills. All of them. Permanently. The lobby went silent. Kimberly found her voice first. What are you talking about? You can't just what? Stop paying for grown adults who should handle their own responsibilities. My voice stayed calm, which seemed to unsettle them more than yelling would have. You've lost your mind, Wyatt spat. Mom could lose her house. Then she should pay her mortgage. Like an adult. Like I've been doing for 3 years. Mom's tears started. Real ones this time, I noticed. Camille, I don't understand. We're family. Family helps each other. You're absolutely right, Mom, I said, pulling out my phone. Family does help each other. They also don't create group chats calling each other burdens. They don't mock each other. And they definitely don't exclude each other from gatherings while taking their money. I watched the color drain from their faces. How did you Wyatt started. Your laptop. You really should lock it. I pulled up the screenshots on my phone, my hands surprisingly steady. Let me read some highlights. Wyatt, the gravy train needs to keep running. Kimberly, should we let her pay or is that too pathetic? Dad, you can't buy belonging. Should I continue? The lobby felt like a vacuum. My landlord had quietly disappeared into his office, giving us privacy for the carnage. Mom reached for me again. Baby, you don't understand the context. The context. My laugh was sharp, unfamiliar. I have 2 years of context. 2 years of the burden problem group chat. 2 years of you planning how to avoid me while spending my money. Last Thanksgiving, I saw the pictures from Aunt Coraline's. Merry Christmas from Kimberly's house. Every holiday you lied about. Kimberly's face hardened. You were snooping through private conversations. I was discovering that my family thinks I'm pathetic while I paid $187,000 of their bills. My voice finally rose. You want to talk about private? Let's discuss how you shared that photo of me eating, called me the burden, and got 17 laughs. Mom gave it a reaction too. Mom gasped. I didn't mean that was just what? Just cruel. Just heartless. Just who you really are when I'm not around to fund your lives. Dad's face reddened. Now you listen here, young lady. No, you listen. I cut him off, surprised by my own force. I've listened for years. Listened to your business troubles while paying Mom's mortgage. Listened to Wyatt's temporary setback through 8 months of car payments. Listened to every lie, every excuse, every manipulation. I'm done listening. Logan spoke for the first time. Camille, you're being dramatic. Families have private vents. It doesn't mean, it means everything, I said quietly. Everything I needed to know. Wyatt stepped forward aggressively. So what, you're just going to abandon your family? Let Mom lose her house? Let my car get repossessed? That's your revenge. Revenge. I shook my head slowly. This isn't revenge. This is consequence. You're all adults. You have jobs. You had lives before I started bankrolling them. Figure it out. You selfish. Wyatt started, but Kimberly grabbed his arm. She'd always been the smartest one, calculating. I could see her brain working, trying to find the angle that would work on me. Camille, okay, we messed up. We said some terrible things. But you have to understand the pressure we were under. The pressure of having someone pay your bills? Yeah, that sounds really hard, Kimberly. That's not fair. Logan lost his job, we were struggling. While I paid off your $15,000 credit card debt? While you posted vacation photos in Miami? That kind of struggling. Her mouth opened and closed. Mom collapsed into a lobby chair, sobbing. I raised you better than this. I raised you to care about family. Something in me snapped. You raised me to be a doormat. You raised me to think love meant sacrifice while getting nothing back. You raised me to believe I had to earn my place at the table by paying for the meal. That's not true. Isn't it? I was shouting now, years of suppressed hurt erupting. Name one time. One time. You included me because you wanted me there, not because you needed something. One family dinner where I wasn't the joke or the wallet. Silence. Not one of them could answer. The truth hung in the air like smoke. Aunt Coraline wiped her eyes. Camille, baby, I didn't know it was this bad. You were in the chat, Aunt Coraline. You laughed at their jokes. I pulled out the envelope I'd been carrying, knowing this confrontation would come eventually. Since we're having this conversation, let's have it properly. I opened it, revealing printed spreadsheets. $187,412. That's what I've paid for this family in 3 years. Here's the breakdown. I handed Mom the first sheet. Your mortgage, $43,200. Your medications, $6,800. Your car insurance when you forgot to pay it, $3,400. Mom stared at the paper like it was written in a foreign language. Wyatt got his next. Car payments, $3,600. Insurance, $2,200. That loan for your business opportunity, $8,000 that you never mentioned repaying. His jaw clenched, but he said nothing. Kimberly, credit card debt, $15,000. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, $42 monthly for 2 years. Over $1,000 of streaming services. Tyler's private school, $13,000. Her hand trembled taking the paper. Dad, surgery bills, $9,200. Your investment, that failed, $12,000. Various emergencies, $6,000. I had more sheets. Aunt Coraline's roof, Uncle Ron's business loan, Cousin Nola's wedding, family reunion costs that somehow became my responsibility. All documented. All provable. Logan stared at his wife's sheet. $15,000? Kimberly, you told me your parents helped with that. I did help, Mom said weakly. I asked Camille to help. You asked your daughter for $15,000 and didn't tell me? Logan's voice rose. What else don't I know? Logan, not now, Kimberly started. When were you going to mention our family finances are apparently funded by your sister? Cracks forming. Beautiful, devastating cracks in their united front. Logan turned to me, something like respect in his eyes. You paid all this? While Kimberly was in that chat. I nodded. He looked at his wife with disgust. We're talking about this at home. Don't you dare judge me. Kimberly's voice went shrill. You were fine taking the money when you thought it came from Mom and Dad. I thought your parents helped us, not your sister. We've been. He stopped, looking sick. Jesus, Kimberly. What have we been doing? Wyatt jumped in. Don't let her manipulate you, Logan. She's making this bigger than it is. Bigger? Logan wheeled on him. Your sister paid $15,000 of our debt. He paid for your car. How is that not big? Everyone just calm down, Dad commanded, but his authority had evaporated. Camille, you're tearing this family apart. I'm not tearing anything, I said quietly. I'm just removing myself from it. You all did the tearing years ago. I just finally found the proof. Aunt Coraline stood. I'm leaving. I can't. She paused by me. Those things we said in the chat. Camille, I'm sorry. I genuinely didn't realize how much you were doing. I thought you were just pathetic, desperate, a burden. She flinched. Yeah. I'm sorry. She left, and somehow that hurt more than the others. At least she owned it. Wyatt wasn't done fighting. So you're just going to let Mom become homeless? Let my car get repossessed? Ruin all our lives because your feelings got hurt? My feelings got hurt? I laughed bitterly. Wyatt, you called me an ATM with legs. Kimberly made memes about my weight. Dad said I was trying to buy love. And Mom, I looked at her, this woman I'd idolized my whole life. Mom, you knew. You knew what they were saying and you participated. Mom stood up, mascara streaking her face. I never meant to hurt you, baby. You have to believe that. Sometimes we say things we don't mean when we're venting. For 2 years? You didn't mean it for 2 years. My voice broke. Every Sunday I'd call asking about dinner. Every holiday I'd ask about plans. And you'd lie to my face while typing about me in that chat. While I paid your mortgage. The mortgage you volunteered to help with. Because you cried to me about losing the house. You said Dad's business was failing, that you were scared, that you didn't know what to do. So I helped. Like family does. And we appreciated it. You called me a burden. The words echoed in the lobby. You don't get to appreciate someone while mocking them. You don't get to take their money while excluding them from family gatherings. You don't get to have it both ways. Dad tried one last time. Camille, you're being emotional. When you calm down, I am calm, Dad. For the first time in years, I'm thinking clearly. And what I see clearly is that I've been funding people who don't respect me, don't value me, and don't actually want me around. So I'm giving you what you want. We want you in our lives. Mom pleaded. No, you want my money in your lives. There's a difference. I pulled out one more envelope. This is a formal cease and desist letter drafted by my lawyer. None of you are to contact me directly or indirectly. No calls, no texts, no showing up at my home or workplace. Violation will result in a restraining order. Wyatt snatched it. You're insane. Actually insane. Maybe. Or maybe I'm finally sane. Guess we'll find out. I started toward the elevator. Camille. Mom's voice cracked. Please. I'm your mother. I love you. I pressed the elevator button, not turning around. You love what I provide. 3 months later, I sat in my new apartment across town. A beautiful 2-bedroom I could finally afford without supporting 5 other households. My phone with a new number they didn't have buzzed. My therapist checking in. Therapy was expensive but worth it. I was learning that I'd been conditioned my whole life to equate love with financial sacrifice. That moms were family manipulation was textbook guilt-tripping. That I'd been more afraid of being alone than being used. But I wasn't alone. My real friends, the ones who'd never asked for money, had rallied around me. My coworker Jolie had become a close friend, introducing me to her book club. My neighbor Mr. Bolton taught me to cook authentic Chinese food. I'd started the bakery fund again, already saving $8,000. Through the grapevine, Jolie's cousin knew Kimberly's coworker. I heard the fallout. Mom had to sell the house, moved into a smaller place she could afford. Wyatt's Lexus got repossessed. He drove a used Toyota now. Kimberly and Logan were in marriage counseling. Dad had to actually manage his finances. They'd tried reaching out through mutual connections, but I'd been clear. I was done. The email I'd scheduled never sent. I'd canceled it week 2 of my disappearance. They didn't deserve my explanations or my itemized list. My absence was explanation enough. Sometimes I felt guilty. Conditioning runs deep. But then I'd remember, the burden feeds. 17 laughs. Mom's reaction. And I'd remember that choosing myself wasn't cruelty. It was survival. I opened my laptop, looking at the bakery business plan I'd been developing. Camille's sweet freedom, that's what I'd call it. Freedom from obligation. Freedom from toxicity. Freedom to finally build something for myself. My phone buzzed again. Jolie, brunch tomorrow? My treat. I smiled, typing back. Perfect. See you then. Real family doesn't keep score. They don't need group chats to manage you. They don't call you a burden while cashing your checks. I'd learned that the hard way. But I'd learned it. Now I was finally free.